are you, brother?
I'm an Israelite.
You a who?
Israelite.
That's right, brother.
Israelite.
You're an Israelite. And you gotta hold on, brother. You don't supposed to drink that much water?
No, because I'm on. Yes.
All right, give me Philippians 2:7. This is the last verse I'm gonna read to you, because I know you gotta catch the bus.
I got to go there.
All right, Philippians chapter 2 and verse 7.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Philippians chapter 2, start at verse 6. Philippians chapter 2. Yeah, the fisherman for Zion, brother. All right.
Verse 6.
And you're an Israelite.
That's right.
I got you.
All right, listen to this.
Who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men.
Right, this is talking about your king, brother. The Messiah that's going to save you out of World War III, if you believe in the scriptures. Read.
And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death.
So, brother, that's what you have to do. You have to humble yourself and be obedient to death, okay?
Right.
All right.
All right, king.
All right, now.
All right, what did we tell you? What's your name? Who are you?
I'm an Israelite.
That's right.
Israelite. That's Genesis chapter 49 right there, all day. That's Genesis 49. Read that real quick. Genesis 49 and 8.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
Yeah, everybody wants to be like the so-called black man. He got this afro, right? You know, he's a base man right now, but his whole fit was matching attire. He had swag. That brother had swag. He had his fitted on. He had his hair to the side, did all up. You know, blue everything, Duke. You know, blue shorts. He even had the two blue Duke wristbands. You see that? I don't know if y'all peeped that.
Nah, I ain't see that.
And I was like, the brother mighty in the spirit. He might be stricken down, but that's an Israelite.
Right.
That is an Israelite. Edomites don't do that. They can't do that. And if they did, they got it from Jake. They studied them real good. Right, read on.
He stooped down, he couched as a lion.
And then he stooped down a little bit. He started, I'm tired. You know, I gotta get to the bus. Right, read on.
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Right, Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 1. Who's gonna rouse up the so-called black man? Right? It's Psalms chapter 91 and 16, I believe, about even Jeremiah first.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 1. They say if a man put away his wife.
Salaki, let me see. Try Isaiah 3.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 1. For behold, the Lord of hosts,
right,
doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff.
So the Lord took away from Judah the stay and the staff, right? The Lord took away from the so-called black man his ability to be a king on the earth, his ability to be righteous. The ability to be righteous was taken away from the so-called black man, literally, by God. That's what this is saying. And your staff represents your strength, right? How do you think Moses was able to get the children of Israel to be righteous in the wilderness, man? After they just had gold and wealth and like America from the Egyptians. But Moses was able to captivate them, man, and motivate them. The only way we'll be able to save our people is through the spirit and power of the Lord, right? We need mighty men that believe in the truth, that are mighty warriors, mighty in tongue, mighty in speaking, mighty in being able to motivate people, okay? Whatever gifts that you have, you got to be as mighty as you can in that, so that other brothers can fall in line and believe in the truth. That's what it's about. Each one teach one. Right? Read that one more time.
For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff.
Hey, brother, you an Israelite. God's chosen people.
Right.
Well, brother, we out here for you, brother. The Lord does take away from Jerusalem the stay in the staff, the strength, the ability to just be strong.
Hope.
Read on.
The whole stay of bread.
The whole stay of bread, right? Bread is for you to live, right? We don't even have the ability to live as so-called black people in this society. Everything is against us. The school system is against us. Literally, as soon as you come out of the womb, better yet, before you even come out of the womb, you at war. Your mother's eating all type of abominable foods. She's being injected. They make her go to the appointments, and they putting all type of stuff in her.
Epidurals on it.
Epidurals. Ain't no telling what type of spirits are in there, man. You know? Hey, when you go into biology and study the body and going into natural herbalistic healing, you will see that there's all manner of parasites that are in the bodies of those that are sick and those that are unhealthy. And those parasites, they look like little demons, right? So we're at war with actual spiritual demons that come down from the heavens that the Most High sends at us, and then you're at war with like literal physical demons in your body, in your ailments, right? All manner of parasites, all manner of bones and achiness, muscle aches, tissues and fibers, all type of stuff. Tendons, your joints, they all jammed up, right? Because when you study biology, you'll see that everything works towards one another. Your skin is connected to your organs. Your hair connected to your organs. And your teeth, every single one of your teeth goes back to a specific organ. And those organs are able to keep you functioning and living. But guess what? If one tooth go missing, one of those organs is now damaged. Everything was created divinely by the Most High to be in order. But this place is out of order. Everything. Right, read on.
And the whole stay of water. The mighty man.
The mighty man.
And the man of war.
The man of war. We don't have that. As so-called black people, we don't have the mighty man. We don't have the mighty men of war. Now, you may have a mighty man in another ramification, like who I would consider a mighty man in our time that we live in is 2023, right? If we was to go around and do a survey and ask so-called black people, well, who's a mighty man in your community? They may say they're a Christian pastor. They may say T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes is not a mighty man, right? T.D. Jakes is mighty in leading people to destruction, right? That's what he's mighty in. He's not a mighty man of God.
Right.
He doesn't even have the knowledge of God, of telling our people the prophecies thereof. How you doing, sister? All right, can we read one Bible verse to you? Are your God's chosen, the Israelites?
Right.
All praise. So, this survey would horribly fail, right? I mean, it would completely just fail, you know? Because there's no mighty man. Louis Farrakhan is not a mighty man, right? He's leading our people under the umbrella and under the jurisdiction that we are a completely different type of people than who we actually are. Yeah, he may say in there we the children of Israel, but they're not doing anything that the Lord told the children of Israel to do.
Right.
Like keep the commandments. That's how the Lord told us we would leave America, by keeping the commandments. Right? Dr. Umar Johnson. Right? He's mighty in what his field of study is, psychology and things of that nature, but he has no spiritual connection to the Father. He's into African ancestry worship, man, in the name of Ashe. Right? When did the Lord tell us to worship our ancestors? That's nowhere in the scriptures for us to like worship our ancestors. That's breaking the first commandment. right? So our people have nowhere to look to.
Right.
And this is what the Lord said will happen to us. Right? Read that again on the top.
For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stake and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water.
Right?
The mighty man and the man of war, the judge
The judge.
and the prophet.
Who's judging our people? Our people will literally fight you for judging them, man. And then they'll say, well, I'm a Christian. You can't judge me because Christ said, judge that you be not judged. But they didn't even read a few chapters, few verses above and few verses beneath to get the precept upon precept, line upon line.
Right.
Meaning just don't be a hypocrite, right? In order for you to have a good community, you have to have a judge.
Right.
You have to have someone to say, hey, no driving on the line, right? That's a judgment. That's a judge. You have to say, hey, you can't throw trash in the neighbor's yard. That is a judge. But yeah, our people say, well, you can't judge me, you know? And we were taught that from America. We were literally taught that in America. Because when the white man was beating us, he said, you can't judge me while I'm doing this to you. Because Jesus Christ says so. In the name of white Jesus. And this is the product of our misunderstanding of who we are, the product of the misunderstanding of the scriptures, and the product of the misunderstandings of the Heavenly Father by being mistaught. Right? Read on.
And the prophet and the prudent.
The prophet and the prudent, right? Who's the prophet? Who's a prophet in this society? Prophet Brian Karn? Our people literally think that Brian Karn is a prophet. You can look him up on YouTube right now. Actually, I seen a video, it might have been this week or last week. You know how the pastors do, they go down the aisle. So he went down the aisle, can't make this up. He went down the aisle as if he was Super Mario or something. And he took his hand, he went like this. It was a row of people. And you know it was some sisters. And he went like this. And then the one sister, she fell back, next one fell back, next one fell back, the next one fell back. And when that happened, he got excited. He started jumping and was like, dang, I can't believe I did that. He was like, I can't believe I just made them all fall in the line. Like a bowling. You know, you got a bowling ball. That's how they feel.
That's all.
And it was burning my flesh not to comment, this brother's wicked. I can't believe y'all believing in this. But I didn't do it. I didn't put the comment down. But our people believe that man is a prophet just because he balled his hand back and went like this, and the people in the row, they all fell.
Dragon Ball Z type.
Yeah, don't you know that there's people that could come out in the middle of the street that could do that same type of magic? They do that same type of magic. The magic that they had in Egypt. All right? How y'all doing, family? All praises. Y'all got a second to hear a Bible verse? All praises. Now, give me the book of Judges chapter 2 and verse 11. You mind if I ask where you guys from?
Right here.
Like nationality-wise?
Cuban.
Cuban?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like the United Nation over here, these two.
Oh, okay. Have you ever heard that the so-called Cubans actually go back to God's chosen people, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel? Did you know that God had a chosen race of people? You didn't know that. So let me show that to you in the Bible. Give me Isaiah chapter 44 verse 1.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse 1.
All right, listen to this.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen.
So Israel is the people that God chose. Right? Give me 2 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 13. Right? So, out of all of the nations on the earth that God created, he only chose one race of people. And you're going to find out who that chosen race is. All right? You got what I'm looking for?
2 Chronicles 16,
13
13.
and 16.
You said 13, 16?
16, 13.
16 and 13.
16, 13? Okay. Look at 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 13.
Bring it out.
And Asa slept with his father.
I want 13 and 16.
What, 13?
First Chronicles.
You said First Chronicles?
First Chronicles.
Book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 13, 16 and verse 13. O ye seed of Israel,
O ye seed of Israel,
his servant,
read,
ye children of Jacob,
the children of Jacob.
his chosen ones.
So the children of Jacob are the chosen ones. Now, how do we find out that that's talking about you and I? How do we know? All right. Judges chapter 2 and verse 11.
The book of Judges chapter 2 and verse 11. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
So it said the children of Israel did what in the sight of the Lord? Evil. Right? So you're a father, right? If your children came home, your house that you paid for, pay the bills, do everything, and they just tore up the house, completely destroyed it, had a party, big party, whole neighborhood is dead. What are you gonna do to your children as a righteous father?
What am I going to do?
Yes, sir.
What am I going to do? I mean, realistically, probably, hey, this is not right. Yeah, I gotta clean
Burnt
this-
your
clean this
house
up.
down. Burnt the house down. Destroyed it.
I don't get too upset too easily.
You don't get too
I
upset?
really don't. I would just call the insurance. House burnt down.
I'll probably burn the house down with them in it.
Burn the house down with a minute. But wouldn't you kind of like chastise them though?
I really
Sorry.
wouldn't. That's
I'm
not
not
my
that patient.
She can tell you better. I don't.
Okay. Understandable. Chiefly, what would people do normally though?
Oh, yeah. They
Kinda
get upset,
chastise
yeah,
them.
and it's chastise them, and yeah,
Give them a lesson.
ridicule them, and yeah, belittle them, and blow it out of proportion.
Right, things
Yeah.
of that nature. So it said the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. Therefore what? Verse 14.
Verse 14. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel.
So he was up. God said that he was upset that the children did evil. That's what God said. Read on.
And he delivered them into the hands of spoilers.
So the judgment for them doing evil and serving another God was God said that he delivered them up to the hands of spoilers. Meaning he gave them to the jurisdiction of another country or another race of people. Read on.
That spoiled them.
And those other countries or nations spoiled the children of Israel, the chosen people. Spoiled means robbed. Took the natural resources. Right? Didn't Cuba getting overtaken or conquered by the Spaniards? That's what happened.
In England.
And England. Right? Read on.
And he sold them.
What did God do to the children of Israel?
And he sold them.
So this is how we know, because what people were sold? Didn't the Cubans get sold to the Spaniards and the Englishmen? And they had to pick sugar cane,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera? That's in the Bible. That's literally what we just read. That's the prophecy and the judgment for our people breaking God's commandments. Is that we will be subject to serving other people. And they'll teach us the things that they want to be teach to us, et cetera, et cetera. So God said that this will happen to his chosen people. And we know that this happened to us. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Right? So if you guys are native Cubans,
Yeah.
right, you'll be Israelites from the tribe of Manasseh. Right? That'll be a God-given nationality. Right? Rather than what you was taught by those conquerors. All right?
I didn't know we were in the list.
Yeah, yep, God's chosen people, right, from the tribe of Manasseh, right? So you got to look deep into your heritage, deep into your history, and find out, why are we still in this condition? Why are the native Cubans still suffering in Cuba right now? Why are they still being mistreated by the same people that conquered them in war? Why is that?
Yeah, why is it?
Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 1.
Well,
Give me the
Isaiah.
book of Psalms chapter 107
Well, I can
and verse
tell
10.
you one thing. For Cubans, they're not united. Because recently we had a riot over there, and not everybody got out. And, I think united was strong. Divided was weak.
That's right.
And did not come out. So that's why we're still there like that over there.
I would agree. That's in the Bible. We can read that next. Right, read that.
The book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 1.
107 and 10.
Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities
But your what?
But your iniquities
Read.
have separated between you and your God.
God said the reason that we're not connected to the Father like how we once were is because of our iniquities. Now, iniquity is sin. Sin is the transgression of the law. In the law, it tells us that we're supposed to be unified as a people, right? Us as a people. The so-called black, Latino, Native American man, that's one nation of people. If the Cubans are in trouble, the so-called black men are supposed to help the Cubans. If the Mexicans are in trouble, the Cubans are supposed to go help and save the Mexicans, right? We're the same nation, just different tribes.
Right.
The reason that we're at the bottom, these 12 tribes, is because we're not unified, but chiefly because we're breaking God's commandments as a nation, right? Read that. Psalms chapter 107 and verse 10.
Oh, Book of Psalms, chapter 107, verse 10.
Chapter 19.
Such as sit in
The Lord
darkness
says, such as sit in darkness,
and in the shadow of death,
in the shadow of death, read on.
being bound in
Our
affliction
people are bound in affliction,
and iron.
right? And we once were bound in iron, right? What people populates the prison systems? Blacks and Latinos.
Yes.
That's bound in affliction and iron. That's what God said. Now, why is this happening? Because what?
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
That's in the Bible. The reason that we're bound in affliction and iron because we rebelled against the word of God. We're the strongest people on the earth. Nobody on the earth can do what the so-called black and Latinos can do. Right? We're the best athletes. Right? Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, nobody can do what we can do. We're the best cookers.
Cookers?
As far as food goes. Right? Nobody else, Japanese, their food is not better than your food.
Yeah.
Right? They can't cook like you can. And this is not me being racist, or this is the truth. We're the best people.
Right.
Right? We're the most intelligent. We have the most inventions. The black men and Latino men. Right? But the reason that we're at the bottom is because God gave us commandments for us to keep, but we broke them. And we started following the ways of other people.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going on right now. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Bring it up.
Same.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So the Lord said, thou shalt not hate thine brother in thine heart. Now the black men and Latino men, we're known for what? Gang banging.
Yeah.
We hate our own people. We hate our own people. What is this about? What is the MS-13 about? Bloods and Crips, GDs and Vice Lord, and all the other Latin Kings and all the other Latino gangs about? Right? It's about committing crime against your own people. That's what's keeping us down. Because all of those men are mighty men of war, and we're supposed to protect our community, protect our people. But we're not doing that. Right? Read on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor,
Read on.
and not suffer sin upon him.
If we did that, we'll literally run the whole world. We would run the whole world. This city, God would literally give us this city for us to run. He'll give us New York. He'll give us the whole place of California for us to run and dwell. But the Lord gave it to another man that's more wicked because we don't want to keep the charge of the Lord. Right? All we have to do is come back to the Lord and do this. And we'll be the rulers in this society. Right? Now, give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. Listen to this. Now, this is what you said earlier.
28:54. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 54.
Right?
So that the man that is tender among you
The man that's tender among you, read on.
and very delicate,
Tender and delicacy goes into the brotherly love. All right? Like, what's your name?
David.
If I say Brother David, it's a beautiful family, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I like that polo shirt, man. It's beautiful. That's tender and delicacy towards my brother. But God said if you break the commandments, this is what will happen to you. Read.
his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
No more tender and delicacy, but an evil eye towards your own brother. Right? I seen a video on Facebook the other day of some Latino brothers. They just walked up to some other Latino brothers and just shot them cold dead. Right? Just shot them cold dead. I'm just like, man, you couldn't have a conversation with your brother. You couldn't work it out. At least fight it out, right?
Yeah.
But not kill him.
Right.
We're the only people that have an evil eye toward our own people. What else?
And towards the wife of his bosom.
And we're evil toward our own wives. Right? We don't even honor marriage anymore as a people. The black man, the Latino man, we're far from where we used to be. Right? Read on.
And towards the remnant of his
So
children.
he's going to have an evil eye towards who so far? His brother, his wife, and his children. Read.
Which he shall lead.
Which he shall leave. Right? Meaning not be in the household anymore. And that is a curse that God put on our people for breaking the commandments.
It's common, man. You know, all these people growing up without no fathers in the house, you know, and the kids committing all these crimes, generation after generation. I seen it growing up. I know what you mean.
You see that? So all we have to do is keep God's commandments, and we can reverse that.
That's true. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's in the Bible. Yeah, I think you're on it. Man. I see you know your Bible well, and I appreciate the message. Yeah. So thanks for that.
Well, all praise to the Most High. So the message is that black people, Latinos, and Native Americans are the same nation of people. And that nation is called the Israelites.
Right.
And they have to come back to God before World War III. All right? Do we think there's going to be a World War III? Give me Revelation chapter 14. 11 and verse 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past.
Read it again.
The second woe is past.
The second what?
The second woe is
The
past.
second woe is past. The word woe means destruction. Read on.
And behold, the third woe
The third woe or destruction or war, the third world's war, read.
cometh quickly.
Yeah, we believe that World War III is going to happen. Right? It's prophesied in the Bible that Russia, Iran, Kim Jong-un is going to utterly destroy America by fire and brimstone. And we waiting for it to happen. America deserves to be destroyed because this is a place and a home where they beat, rape, rob, and murder us. Right? So God wants to destroy America because after America is destroyed, these people get a chance at rulership in the earth. That's what they don't want you to know. They're going to hide who you are, right, which is a king on the earth, an Israelite, so that you don't know what's going on, right, and so that you won't know God's judgment. So yeah, World War III will happen very soon, right?
I got a quick piece up.
God, bring it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, starting at verse 16. And it reads, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire,
Right?
and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Yeah, so I think Russia, the other day, they launched a missile called the Satan II.
That's right.
I heard about that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they launched a missile called the Satan II. That missile can destroy the landmass the size of Texas.
It's scary, man. No, it's scary, man. Hopefully, have any time soon. I'm trying to live a little bit longer. But
Well, guess what? Guess what? The Lord said that you can live forever, brother.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I'm talking about right here, right now.
Well, right here, right now, if a missile came, you have to believe that you can still be alive.
Right,
Because the Lord can save you out of it.
right.
All you have to do is know that you're an Israelite. You keep
Right.
the commandments. The Lord will save you from World War III.
Still gonna be really nasty. Everybody starts dying around here. It's not gonna be a good scene for I don't know. Probably it's not something I want to see.
It's not something you want.
Not probably.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. But the point of the whole matter is this. Right? Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Give me Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12.
All right, Ecclesiastes.
What you got?
What do you say?
Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. Revelation 14 and 12.
Quick on the sword, quick on the sword.
I got Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13.
Wait, take it back. Bring it up.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
The Lord said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. The conclusion of the whole matter meaning the reason that you were born. The reason that you were created, David. Do you know who David is in the Bible?
I know he's.
David was a mighty man of war. He loved war because he knew that that was a righteous thing to protect his family. Read on.
Fear God.
What does David got to do?
Fear God.
One more time.
Fear God.
So David, you have to fear God. You can't fear World War III. World War III is nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
We only fear the Father.
Man, that's the truth. Yeah. It's 100%.
Right.
No, yeah. I feel
Fear
that.
God.
And keep his commandments.
So the reason that you was created, David, was to fear the Father,
That's right.
keep His commandments, and you'll live
I
forever.
fear God every day. But I gotta run though, for real.
All
Yeah,
praise.
yeah. All right, man.
All right, David.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
All
you.
right,
What's your name, brother?
All right.
Nathan?
All right.
Nathan. Okay, I like that name. All right.
All right, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, nice meeting you too.
You do the COVID thing?
Well, nah.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself.
All right.
Besides everything else, an observation here, I think we all, as humans, we need to come united. Besides all of the races and all that, I think we all need to come united. A lot of people pass by my son right there and saw him down. It's not common for a teenager to be on the floor. My son is a type 1 diabetic. He's slow right now. That's why we need to run. But no one saw.
What? What happened to him?
No,
Type 1 diabetic.
he's a type 1 diabetic.
Okay.
He's a little bit low now, but not one saw went by that boy
Right.
and say, "Are you okay?"
Right.
So we all as human beings should come united, regardless of the race and all of that. That's my 3 cents. But I agree with most of that because we were suppressed by a lot
Right.
of what you were saying, and the unity needs to come and happen in Cuba for us to get out of those conditions, because a lot of brave Cubans came out and tried to change the situation, but a lot of cowards stay at home complaining and did nothing about it. That's why we're still where we are.
Right. When the last time y'all been to Cuba?
I left in 1997. All my family's here.
You haven't been back since?
No, I haven't been back since.
You don't plan on
My
visiting?
father was a political refugee. We are political refugees. We are not allowed back in Cuba.
Okay.
So, but I have my family here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully one day we can go out there and
Yeah.
teach the gospel. So
Yeah. Hopefully.
we'll let y'all know.
Yes.
Let me give you a
Well,
card.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for what you're doing and raising that.
Yeah, but that's that's just a
Yeah, so
vessel
take
that the
card and
Lord
got a
had set
YouTube
up
channel up there.
to be able to heal on His own timing. In Revelation 21, the Lord said, "In the kingdom of heaven, there is not going to be any diabetes." I have a stepdaughter that has cerebral palsy, so it's not something that the Lord can't take away. He puts us in situations to allow us to look towards Him. We can't look towards money. Money, if you was rich, that wouldn't be something that you would look to the Lord for.
Right.
Your money is now your belief and your faith, but it's nothing too hard for the Lord to take off.
Well,
But we also, while we have these infirmities and while we have things that we deal with, we have to get closer to the Lord, because James 4:8 says, "You draw nigh to the Lord, He will draw nigh to you."
yeah.
So the closer you get to the Lord, it takes your mind off things you're dealing with, and it lessens everything that you deal with,
Amen.
and it magnifies Him. That's why He's the ultimate healer, physician, the doctor. And so we have to come back to the Lord and realize that and know that He has things for us to do and instructions that we have to keep while we have infirmities. Because Paul said, a message of Satan buffeted him. He asked the Lord to remove it a completion amount of times, 3. And Christ told him, my grace is sufficient for thee. Meaning, when you're weak, Christ makes you strong.
That's right. Let me read this Bible verse for you before you leave. All right, give me what I call. All right, give me Jeremiah 30:17. Hold that.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 17.
And you might write the scripture down and read it to him at night, or whenever, or you can just read it on your own and help yourself.
Jeremiah what?
Chapter 30 and verse 17.
30:17.
For I will restore health unto thee.
What the Lord say?
For I will restore health unto thee.
Read on.
And I will heal thee of thy wounds.
So the Lord said He'll heal us from our wounds. Right? These wounds came from America. At one point in time, we didn't have diabetes type 1. That came from us being enslaved here.
Right.
But the Lord said He'll restore us. Read on.
Saith the Lord.
Saith who?
Saith the Lord.
Saith man.
Saith the Lord.
Read.
Because they called thee an outcast.
Right. So then they may call your son an outcast because of his ability or his disability, rather. But the Lord said He'll do what? He'll restore that.
That's right.
Right? But all you have to do is believe.
That's it.
Yeah. That's what we have been doing since he was 8.
All praises.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank you,
also
guys.
within that believing, it's a fight every day.
Oh,
Because you can believe with your mind, but you have to continue to fight. That's what Christ did. He continued to carry that cross for us.
It's a fight. It's a 24/7 fight.
Right.
Well, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Y'all
Say
Israelites
your
be
name one more
blessed.
time? Nate. Okay, Nate. Yeah, look at that YouTube channel, brother. Read the Bible verses. All praise.
All right. Guys, thank you so much.
Read that again. Start at verse 16.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16.
Right, Jeremiah chapter 30, one of my favorite chapters in the Bible.
Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
Yeah, so it's not about humanity. All humanity need to come together and kumbaya. It's not about that. The Lord said, all they that devour thee, they have to be devoured. They have to. It's only right. It's only right. The earth can't be healed unless those people that did the destruction, did the terrible things in the earth, things have to happen to them. It has to happen. Right? People like to say in the society, well, you know, if I don't make things right with such and such, my life not gonna be right.
Right.
Yeah, you have to patch up, heal what was destroyed in order for you to move forward. Otherwise, you're gonna go through a repeated cycle. Right? If the so-called white man don't get judged by God, he's just gonna wax worse and worse.
Right.
Right? He already don't believe in God. He don't believe in all of humanity coming together. White man don't believe in that. If he believed in that, then the earth will be in a better place. He believes in destroying everything, and so that he can become God.
Right.
So that he can get praise and fame in the earth. Right? But that's not the will of the Father, though. Right? The will of the Father is for the so-called white man to get puffed up so boldly and proudly that he can destroy him just like how he did Pharaoh.
That's right.
Read Romans chapter 9. It tells you that.
That's right.
Right? The reason the so-called white man is where he is today is because he thinks that God won't destroy him.
Right.
He literally thinks that in his mind. He now has all of this technology, right? They got cars that can fly. I know they do. I know they do. They was making movies about this in the 90s, in the 80s. But now with the technology that we have now, that was created by our people, they have these things. Right? And he's like, well, God ain't destroyed me yet. Right? I believe we got a fair shot at God now. The technology that God has, those chariots that those Negroes out there singing about, I think we cracked the code.
Right.
They think that. So that's why the Lord said this. Read that again.
Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
Yeah, so it's not about all people coming together. And blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is your downfall, man. Thinking that we could just shake hands with the other races of people and think that one day in our hearts, we just such a good humanitarian, right. Blacks and Latinos. We just want everybody to be a part of this thing, right? But it's so messed up that we want to include everybody else, but when it comes to us, we won't even include strictly our own family.
Right.
Right? We pick and choose, man. We literally pick and choose when we want to, put everybody in this thing. Right? That's off. Read on.
And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled.
They that spoil thee shall be spoiled.
And all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
All they that prey upon thee will God give for a prey. That thing that happened in 2019, 2020, that was a prey upon you black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You know that thing that I'm talking about. That thing. Right? That thing that they try. Yeah, man. Some brothers call it the jump shot. They try to put the jump shot in you, man. Here you go. Here you have it, the so-called white man. He has about all, the three-point contest. They got the racks out there. He's just shooting jump shots on you Negroes. Look at that Negro right there. I believe that he's going to take the jump shot. Throw a ball at him. I'm going to shoot it at him. And next thing you know, you're getting all poked up, stuck up. And next thing you know, a few months later, you're dead.
Yeah.
Your kidneys are failing now. Right? All these terrible things have happened to you because there's a prey set upon you.
Right.
Right? Didn't the Lord warn you about this? I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Right? That's what the Lord said. I'm going to scatter you to all of these nations of people. My servants are going to try to help you and save you. And you're going to be sheep scattered among wolves. Right? They're gonna come in sheep's clothing too. They're going to try to look like you. They're going to try to sing like you. Dance like you. They're either going to try to worship who they believe to be your God.
Right.
Right? But the whole time they was trying to set up to destroy you. How y'all doing, family?
Good, how are you?
All right. Hey, brother, can I read you one Bible verse?
Not right now.
All right, brother. Y'all are God's chosen people. The Israelites.
That's right.
All right. So read on.
I got a quick piece of it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 143, starting at verse 12. And it reads, "And of thy mercy cut off my enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul.
Destroy all of them that afflict my soul, you know?
For I am thy servant."
Yeah, I am thy servant, man. Nowhere in the Bible do you read about God praying for our actual enemies,
Right.
right? When the Lord telling you forgive your enemy, that's talking about the conflict within your own people, man.
Right.
People don't understand biblical hip talk and the history of the scriptures. That's really the problem, right? If brothers hadn't found out yet, when you speak to a Christian, you have to understand that these people, they believe in the Bible, they believe in the Lord, they just don't know Him.
Right.
Because they don't know the history of the scriptures. They don't know about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom being split into two.
Right.
And the prophecies about how the 10 tribes will be separated and given, but he's going to keep Judah. Right? They don't know that only the Jews seen the Lord. They don't know that. They don't know that our people were already gone during around 540 BC. They don't put two and two together. Right? So you have to speak to them in a certain manner to try to like convince them in this because they don't know the history. Right? Read on.
For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee.
And health and being healed is of course it's about ailments like physically, but it's really the spiritual ailments that our people suffer, man. We suffer so many spiritual ailments that it's not even funny. It's literally not funny at all. Right? You'll ask a Jake, what's his nationality? He say, I don't know. Then you tell him he an Israelite, God's chosen. They don't have the spiritual intelligence to like really think cognitively of what that means. Because our people are so spiritually disabled to understand what's going on. Right? We're hurt spiritually. We know that we kings deep inside of our spirit. Right? But how you gonna tell me a king when I'm late on my rent? I just got evicted. Right? I just got evicted. I done been homeless. I done been shot at. I just got shot last night. You gonna tell me I'm a king? I got shot by a Negro. A brother that looked like me. All I owed him was $10 and he shot me in the face. Right? And you gonna tell me I'm a king? I've been sleeping outside for 10 years. I hadn't taken a shower in 30 years. Right? I take cat baths, and you gonna tell me I'm a king?
Yeah, my mother, she cast me away.
My mother casted me away. You know, my mother told me I would never be nothing, and she told me she hated me, and my father was never there. Right? You know, I got kicked out. I was in a foster child. I grew up in a foster child. Never seen my mother. You gonna tell me I'm a king? Right? I got raped when I was 13. I didn't deserve that. You gonna tell me I'm a king or a princess or a daughter of Zion? Right? So people are out here sick, man.
Mm-hmm.
People are out here sick, and nobody's counseling them. Nobody's going to go visit. Nobody's going to go see about them. Nobody, hey, are you okay? You know, can we talk about things? You know, there's some brothers out here that do that. You know, but it's not enough.
Right.
For all of our people. All the 12 tribes of Israel, they just out here just sick, man. Just sick. And that's why people love the Christian church, man. Because you can go into the Christian church and receive ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Temporary.
Yeah, Advil. That's just temporary satisfaction. It's not healthy for you. There's literally warning signs on ibuprofen. Warning, right? You can die by taking this, right?
Become addicted.
Yeah, when you walk into the Christian church, you say, warning, we're lying to you in here. We're just here to just make you give up the tithe, shout, and sing a good song. But coming up in here doesn't. It's not gonna solidify you getting salvation, right? That should be a warning sign in the Christian church, because all it is Advil. You go in there, you hear a message that you think is for you, but all it is just trying to get you pumped up and to get you feel conflicted about all of the sins that you in. It's people that go to church every Sunday and they cry. Ask yourself, why they crying? It's because they are in sin.
That's right.
Right? They're in all manner of sin. I can honestly say, when I went to the Christian church, I used to go to the altar and I would cry. That's because, hey, I was doing all type of wickedness, right? You know, and I was like, oh man, I feel the spirit.
Right.
Raise my hands up, you know, and then the spirit just hop on you. Next thing you know, you crying.
Spirit of sorrow.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you running around the church doing laps, right? So our people are spiritually wounded, right? That's why the Lord said He'll heal us, right? Read that one more time.
For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord.
Right?
Because they called thee an outcast,
They called thee an outcast, read.
saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after.
This is Zion. Nobody cares about them Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Nobody cares, right? You done been enslaved for over 500 years.
Right.
No nation said, listen, we got to start a war, a riot with what they doing to these people, man. The Chinese, they didn't come together and said, listen, you can't do this to the sons of Zion. God is going to destroy this place you do that. Don't y'all remember what happened to them in Egypt? You didn't see what the Lord did to the firstborn son? God killed the firstborn son of all the Egyptians, man.
Right.
Israelites. That's a heavy thing, man. Right? In the ancient world, the mightiest thing you can do was bring forth a child.
Right.
Right? Nowadays, people don't care about childbearing. You got daughters all across the world from all nationalities. They say, well, it doesn't matter if I give birth. Right? It's actually a curse to not give birth, man.
It's a shame to a woman.
It's a shame. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 6 in verse 18. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 18.
Genesis 15:2, when Abraham, his wife.
Kind. That's right. You can read that account if you want.
1 Samuel 6.
1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 18.
Look at 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 18. And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities.
2 Samuel chapter 6. About when David started dancing. All right.
2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 18.
Kind.
And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts.
Right, read on.
And he dealt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel,
Right, read.
as well to the women as men,
Right.
to every one a cake of bread.
Right, so David out there dealing with the people, feeding them, they just saw him celebrating the Lord by dancing. Right, read on.
And a good piece of flesh.
And this dancing wasn't like how the Christian church has monetized off of praise and worship. This is not that type of dance. Right? Where you got homosexual Jake in the Christian choir, you know, dancing, shouting, thinking that he's giving God the praise. That's not what David was doing. Right? Read on.
And a flagon of wine. So all the people departed, every one to his house.
Read on.
Then David returned to bless his household.
Right, read.
And Michal, the daughter of Saul,
Right.
came out to meet David.
Right, so this woman came out to meet David After just seeing him doing all these things, read.
and said,
Didn't David dance out of his clothes?
Yes, he
In
did.
this account, he danced out of his clothes. So I'm led to believe in the spirit. David was a pretty nice looking brother because he killed a whole lot of people.
he had a hammer too.
He had a hammer. So I'm led to believe that David had muscles. He probably had a 10-pack. Jake, you now got a 6-pack, but back in the day we used to have a 10-pack, 8 and 10, right? You know, so he had a nice countenance. He was pretty fit, right? Nice beard. Read on.
How glorious was the King of Israel
How glorious was the King of Israel? Read.
today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids.
So she said,
Handmaids.
right. She said, how glorious was it to uncover himself in the eyes of the handmaids? That sounds pretty smart to me. That sounds like a smart remark.
Well, handmaids, that means more than one that was out there.
Right. Read on.
Of his servants,
Right.
as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovered himself.
Shamelessly uncovered himself. So she is ridiculing David. Right? She's trying to rebuke him through the spirit. That's what she's doing. Read on.
And David said unto Michal, it was before the Lord which chose me before thy father, and before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people.
So David is like, listen, the Lord chose me to do this. Man's goings of the Lord. I was just dancing and, my clothes came off. I didn't take my clothes off willingly and, out there flashing people. That's what he's saying. And that was a real humble statement. He was like, hey, it was of the Lord that chose me. That was the Lord's will. Right? Read on.
People of the Lord over Israel.
Right?
Therefore will I play before the Lord.
Right?
And I will yet be more vile than thus, and will be base in my own sight.
Now, hold on 1 second. Brother's a man of his word. All praises. Now, would you by chance know what we teaching up here?
Teach about God.
We're teaching about God. That's right. Now, what did God say about us in the Bible? What is our God-given nationality?
Father of civilization. We're the original man. If that's what you get at,
I'm going to show you, right? Give me the book of Judges, chapter 2, and verse 11.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 2, and verse 11. And the children of Israel.
Have you ever heard of the children of Israel? All right, so the children of Israel is a nation of people. After the flood, right, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they created nations of people. When you study the scriptures, 18 nations, right? So the original man supersedes that, going into Adam, etc., going into the original dark-hued people. But there's many nations on the earth that have dark skin. That doesn't mean they're the same people. Now, the children of Israel are God's chosen people, right? You ever heard of that? That God has a chosen people? Now, what did the children of Israel do?
Did evil in the sight of the Lord.
They did evil in the sight of the Lord. So just like any good father, your father, right? I'm led to believe that you're a father. What would you do to your child or your children if they did something evil as a good father? What would you do to them? Discipline them, right? Chastise them. Do you think that our race has been receiving chastisement and discipline from God?
No, I had my phone in my purse.
Oh, yeah. Check out what God did to the children of Israel. Verse 14.
Verse 14.
Read.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel.
Was hot against the chosen people. Read.
And he delivered them into the hands of spoilers.
Being delivered to the hands of spoilers, meaning you're now delivered to other countries and governments, other nations of people, because you were evil to God. What else to happen?
That spoiled them.
And those other governments and nations are now spoiling you, meaning robbing you, indoctrinating you. What else did God do to the Israelites for breaking the commandments?
And he sold them.
And he sold them. Whose history does that sound like? Where you were given to other nations, robbed, and sold. It sounds like our history. But they call us in the society what people? A color, black. They call us African Americans, 2 continents, right? Negro, colored. So who are we? Why did they give us all these names trying to confuse us? Are they trying to hide something about you? Who are you? Who are we? All right, give me the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 26. All right, so what we're here to do is to wake our people up because we have strategically been lied to on purpose. Right, from a hierarchy of people, trickle down to lie to us in many different forms and fashions. Right, so listen to this.
Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
So Moses was a prophet. He prophesied about you, our people, on where we will be standing at right now. And I'm going to prove that in the Bible. He said he set before the Israelites a blessing and a curse. Read.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God,
Read on.
which I command you this day.
If they obey the commandments, they'll receive blessings. Read on.
And a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So if they break the commandments, they'll receive curses. Do you think they broke or kept the commandments? You think they broke? Now give me Deuteronomy 28:68. How did we get to America, transportation-wise? Through a boat. Do you think that's in the Bible?
I think it's in the Bible.
You think it's in the Bible? You think it's in the Bible because I'm alluding to it, or because?
Well, because I didn't read it personally, but you're alluding to it. So I feel like.
Give me Deuteronomy 28:68.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
All right, give me Exodus 22. Bring it out. Now this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. Remember, he said, if they keep the commandments, they'll be blessed. If they break them, they'll receive curses. So we're reading one of the curses that he's going to put on the children of Israel that's going to pinpoint who they are and identify them. All right, read that.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Listen.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So where again?
Into Egypt again.
So the reason it says again is because they were in Egypt prior to. You remember when Moses went into Egypt and said, Pharaoh, let my people go. So they were enslaved in Egypt. And Moses was chosen by God to free them out of Egypt. Y'all remember that story, right? Now, as a curse, that's why he said Egypt. Because nowhere in the scriptures after this account did the Israelites go into Egypt again. So what does Egypt mean? Is it really talking about the landmass of Egypt? Or is it talking about when they were in Egypt that first time, Moses had to free them out of Egypt? Meaning slavery. So give me Exodus 22 to furthermore prove what I'm saying, right? Read that.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So you can have Egypt, the landmass, or you can have Egypt, which is a signification of a house of bondage. It's a representation of slavery. Now, God said if they break the commandments, this is what will happen to them. Read that one more time.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Now, what's the name of the people that we're reading about? Just so I can know that you with us. The Israelites. Right? Read that.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
To Egypt again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What people went into Egypt? Now we know it can be represented as a place of captivity. What people went to slavery or captivity by a ship? It's talking about us. Read on.
By the way, whereof I spec unto
The
thee.
same way Moses said it, that's the same way it would happen. We have something called the Atlantic slave trade that everybody knows about, right? The sub-Saharan slave trade, the Silk Road slave trade, right? When the Arab men took you in slavery, the Chinese men took you in slavery, and you built the Great Wall of China. We don't know about that history, though. Right? So by the way whereof I spake unto thee, read on.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
This is in the Bible. Thou shalt see it no more again. Read.
And there
Meaning when you get off the ships or when you get to Egypt again,
ye shall be sold.
ye shall be sold. This happened to who? That's right. They shall be sold to who?
unto your enemies.
Unto your enemies. And we know who we were sold to. I'm not going to ask you so you can say it. You don't have, we know who we were sold to. God called them our enemies in the Bible. This is the Holy Bible. Right? That every pastor has this Bible. And I'm pretty sure that you went to church before, but you never heard that. Ask yourself why you never heard that. This happened after Jesus Christ came. But this way in the book of Deuteronomy. This happened 400, 500 years ago. In Deuteronomy, Jesus Christ is nowhere on the scene. This is Moses talking. Why have we never heard this? They shall be sold to an enemy for bond men. What else?
And bond women.
And what?
And no man shall buy you.
No man is going to redeem you from this enslavement until you find out who you are. That's what this whole thing is about. Destroy the so-called black man, enslave him, so much so that he has no idea who he is. Give me Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17.
Listen to this.
And verse 4. And it reads, and thou, even thyself,
This is talking about the Jews. Read.
shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Shall do what?
Shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
God prophesied that a specific people will be discontinued from their heritage. No longer associated with, have no idea about their heritage. Read on.
That I gave thee,
That God gave them. Read.
and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
And you're going to be discontinued from your heritage through the servitude of your enemy. Your enemy is going to make you serve him so hard and so bad that you're not even going to consider who you are. You're not even going to care. He's going to beat it out of you. Read on.
In the land,
And this is going to happen where?
in the land,
Read.
which thou knowest not.
You're not even going to know about this land. Because we found out that you are now carried to this land by way of a ship. So who are we according to the Bible? Just off, we only read like 2-3 verses. Off of those 2-3 verses alone, who are we?
Sounds like we're God's chosen.
We're God's chosen.
right.
And that name is called what? The Israelites.
right.
It's that's it. Now, what do we have to do to get out of this condition that we in? Because there's people that are going to go to church tomorrow. They're going to have no idea about this. What caused us to be put in this position?
Lack of knowledge of self. Not following God's commandments.
That's it. It's that simple. People are going to go to church tomorrow. They're going to say things such as God's grace and the commandments are done away with because that's the Old Testament. But we just read in Deuteronomy something that was fulfilled out of the Old Testament just 500 years ago. So they are misteaching our history, which is the Bible.
That's
And I would go so far to say that it's on purpose
how it is.
from a hierarchy that's coming down.
I agree.
Now, in order for us to get the kingdom of heaven, right? Give me Revelation 14 and 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 14.
And the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth. It's not what we were taught somewhere in the sky. It's not going to be up there with God, right? That's not in the Bible whatsoever.
That's right.
The kingdom of heaven means rulership and dominion on the earth. Everybody had a chance to rule and reign on the earth. The Egyptians, they ruled and reigned on the earth. The Persians and the Medes, right? Everybody. The white man, he reigned. The Babylonians, they reigned. When are we going to have rulership and reign on the earth? That's what they don't want us to know. That's why they've spent every single dollar predicated to miseducate us and destroy us. So listen to this.
Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Right?
Here is the patience of the saints.
Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
The saints are the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel that were once lost but now found in the last days. Right? The so-called black man is the Israelite for the tribe of Judah. West Indies, Israelite for the tribe of Benjamin, so on and so forth. Here's the patience of the saints. Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God
Keep the commandments of God,
and the faith of Jesus.
and you have to have the faith in who the world calls Jesus Christ. Right? So we have to keep the commandments. Right? Amy, before y'all leave, I know y'all got to go. 3 commandments before y'all leave. Just any 3 that you may know. That's 1. Still. That's right. And our people commit those on a daily basis. There's songs about adultery. There's a song called Mr. Steal Your Girl. What are we talking about? And it's funded by the people that we were sold to. They fund
right.
it. They keep us in sin. So, y'all gave us 3. We're going to give you 3 that you may not have known about through the Spirit of the Lord. Give me Leviticus 11:7.
The book of Leviticus.
You know where we're going, right? You know where we're going. Yeah, you know exactly where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
So the Lord brought you up here to hear this again, brother. Right? The Lord said, the Lord speak twice, but man perceiveth it not. Right, read that. Leviticus 11:7.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divided the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
When it says he cheweth not the cud, meaning God created the swine to only have one digestive system, contrary to the other animals that are clean beasts that you can't eat. Read. He is what?
He is unclean to you.
He's unclean to you. Nowhere in the Bible did God change that. I mean, literally nowhere. I mean, it's not in there. You can search all year and all day. You can take a verse and it may allude or seem like, no, it's not in there. Right?
These,
No, of their flesh.
of their flesh shall ye not eat,
Read on.
and their carcass shall ye not touch.
Read on.
They are unclean to you.
The swine wasn't created for a king to digest. The swine was created to be a filter mechanism for the earth. Take our trash, we feed it to the herd of swine. That's what keeps the dry land cleansed. Don't take your trash and dump it somewhere or burn it, etc., etc. Give it to the herd of swine. That's what they were created for. That's what God created it for. We can't eat that. No more. We can't. Right? Or we'll die in World War III.
Yep.
It's that simple. Right? Read on.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the water.
And chiefly, what people lead in diabetes, gout, and high blood pressure is because we eating that. We breaking that commandment. Right? After a good old Sunday service, they eating a whole hog. I mean, just a whole one. They gave that to us in slavery as scraps. Why do you think our people eat pig ears and pig feet and that's the slave owner knew that we was supposed to eat that because he knew that we was the Jews, the Israelites. Right, read on.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas,
Right.
and in the rivers,
Read on.
them shall ye eat.
Anything that has fins and scales on it in the waters, that's what we can't eat, like salmon, spot, trout, tilapia, flounder, etc., etc. You can properly scale it and cleanse it. Everything is about being cleansed and properly cooking it because you can't eat anything with the blood. Right? This whole thing is God got this thing down to a scientific form. Right? That's why this is there. Read on.
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas,
Read.
in the rivers, of all that move in the waters,
Read on.
and of any living thing which is in the waters,
They shall what?
they shall be an abomination unto you.
Yeah, so we can't eat things without fins and scales. And we know what that is. That's what? Huh?
You said you can't eat anything
Anything
without.
that does not have fins and scales.
Right.
What are
Thing on the hook, cow.
No, in the water.
Oh, you said in the water?
Yeah, in the water.
Anything
Oh,
that's
shrimp?
within the shrimp
Go ahead. Go ahead.
doesn't got fins and scales on it.
Go ahead.
Lobster.
Lobster,
Go ahead.
Crab.
crabs. Where are their dwelling place at? Where do they cohabit? At the bottom of the ocean. Why? Because there's a cleansing mechanism for the ocean. You take that out of the water, you no longer can go to your local river, your local beach, etc., and just dwell there or have any type of drinking water because it's unclean now. If the water's unclean, the air is unclean. Okay? Because there's a water cycle. All of this is in the Bible. And your enemy knows this. That's why he mass feed it to you. And we just doing it. Oh, it is what it is. I'm gonna give me some good crab legs, crack it open, dump it in there, and then they jack up the price.
Seafood.
They jack up
right.
the price. They say, well, this is good eating right here, you nigga boy. But get you some of this. All right, get you a good job so we can get you some of this good lobster, you nigga boy. And he was, oh, give me a good job, right? And the whole time you in sin. All right, you see, I gotta paint a picture for you because the Lord told us not to do this, but we were mistaught these things.
Right.
But it's a reason why. It's a reason why. It's a reason why. Right? So those are 2 commandments that we gave. We're gonna give you one more through the Spirit. Give me Sabbath or
Number 15.
Yeah, give me the fringes. Give me the Numbers chapter 15, verse 38.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speaking to the children, who are the children of Israel? That's right. That's right. So-called black people, Latinos, Native Americans, 12 tribes of Israel.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations. So the Lord commanded us to wear fringes in the borders of our garments throughout our generations. Right, read on.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Right, so a ribbon of blue on our fringes. Read on.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
And what?
And do them.
And what?
And do them.
One more time.
And do them.
So the Lord commanded us to wear fringes in our garments. This is what makes us a set-apart people. This is what makes us different than everybody else. Right? So, those are the commandments that the Lord gave us, and this is what's going to get us out of slavery, because we still in slavery. Right? This is just a higher form of capitalistic slavery. It's more spiritual than it is physical. Right? Any questions?
Nah, man, y'all gave me something today. Which I knew Leviticus
Chapter
11:7. I knew that. I used to say the same thing when I first came down to Jersey. But came down south, kind of went backwards. But I appreciate that, man. That was a good word. Y'all gave me something. So
Most
take it back now.
Most definitely.
Take it back. But,
Most definitely.
yeah, I'm on track with what y'all saying, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning, but yeah, I'm definitely on track with that. Definitely, especially with the fringes and the blue. I'm definitely on track with that.
Yes, sir.
Definitely on track with that. Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So all you gotta do, brother, right? Give me Psalms chapter 119 and 59. Because people don't understand the magnitude of what this is.
That's right.
They see this, they like, well, this is just a fad, this is a facade, or they're just out. Yeah, they're just out there. This is prophecy, brother.
Right.
This is we literally living in the end of the world. We all know this, right? This got to be the last days. No, we really living in the last days. And at one point in time, there was no such thing as a so-called black man reading the Bible out and telling people the judgments that's in the Bible. That never happened in the earth, right? You're now living in those days. So this is important, right? Read that.
Book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 59.
Right?
I thought on my ways
I thought on my ways.
and turned my feet unto thy testimony.
So all you have to do as an Israelite, because that's who you are, is think upon your ways. Think about what was said and think about why you weren't taught these things. Think upon your ways and then turn your feet to the testimonies, which is the testimonies in the scriptures, the accounts of how we got in this position, the accounts of how we're going to get out of this position. Think about your race of people. Think about where we are as a race, right? I think it was when we first got out of so-called slavery, I think we owned about maybe 1 or 2% of the wealth. Guess what that percentage is now? It's the same amount. The same people that had it then are the same people that got it now, right? Because, like I said, there's a hierarchy. I see the symbol on your hat, right? You may or may not know, but who started that? What man was chosen to be a part of the society, right? We have to know these things because we have major coons and sellouts of our own people that are causing our people to be mistaught.
That's right.
Strategically. Way down to the Christian church. The black church, they read this Bible. They know this is in here, but they're not telling our people. And they're paid off. Right? So the Lord said, I thought upon my ways, and I turned my feet to the testimonies. Read.
I made haste.
I made haste.
And delayed not
To do what?
to keep thy commandments.
I made haste, and I delayed not to keep thy commandments. Meaning I have cognizance, I understand that's in there. We not being taught, okay, well, I I have to get down with the scriptures because I see that the time is not drawing nigh. I see it. It's clear. Russia, what was it, yesterday or the day before yesterday, just launched a missile called Satan II. That missile can destroy the city the size of Texas. What do they have that for? How does that align up with the Bible? Well, that's talking about World War III that's prophesied to destroy America in the Bible.
That's
and
right.
The only way to save our people is through this knowledge. And the Lord will literally save us just as he saved us in Egypt. It's that simple. All right? So you'll be an Israelite, brother.
I appreciate
praise
that.
All praise to the Most High.
God bless. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we out here every Saturday. If you got any
Every
questions,
Saturday?
come back.
Hey, if you don't mind, I got one more for you. This through the Spirit that just, you know, this is Leviticus chapter 19, starting at verse 27, and it reads, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard." So through the Spirit, according to this law, you know, Christ told us, Matthew 5:17, that he didn't come to do away with the law. He just came to do away with animal sacrifice, and he's that sacrifice. So according to what we're supposed to do to our utmost might, if you have the ability in this society, knowing that we're still in straits under the oppressions because our forefathers fell away from the covenant between the Most High and them, that we can't shave our beard willfully. You know, now if we was in the military, you know, we have to find ways to, you know, try to get closer to the Lord so we can keep this commandment. You know, so according to the law, we can't shave our beards. You know, now they got the Gillette commercials. You might see an Israelite man up there, he's shaving his beard. So they promoting it. You know, they saying if you want to be an actor, you know, some top-notch man, you gotta
Have
clean
a clean
look.
face,
Yeah.
clean look.
So
And
they promoting it.
not to cut your wisdom, but that's what they did to us when they first brought us over on ships. They did a few things, like, the brother pointed at this sign. They put you on a pedestal in front of everybody so that you can see. They'll grope you up and they'll shave your face off. Man. That's why they called us boys.
Yeah.
Come here, you boy. Right? Because they belittled us. And here we are, 2023. What are our young kings acting like? They're acting just like boys, killing each other.
Right.
Right? Pants down to here, rapping about killing each other, rapping about committing adultery, rapping about all these crazy things. It's crazy. We're the product of that environment.
That's right.
So we have to change these things as soon as possible. Here's a card with our information, YouTube channel, and all that good stuff.
I appreciate that, fellas. Thank y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
One more time. What is your God-given nationality?